Okay, so here we have a list widget that allows us to manipulate the a list of items on the fly. We'd like to make this a little more sophisticated and perhaps choose whether we want to render this as a numbered list or unnumbered list, right? So this will allow us to play around now with checkboxes, right? So we've played around with drop downs, we've played around with text areas, we play around with input fields. Right, let's play around now with checkboxes. Right, so let's add a checkbox right above here, and that you can configure whether this is ordered or unordered. Right? Okay, so what we could do here is that first let's see if we can maintain that particular type of state. So for instance, as a list, one of the features I like to have here is that if it's ordered, and this might be false to start with. And this will drive, whether this is true or false, will drive whether it renders one way or another, okay, for that particular widget. So here in the list widget, what we could do is just have two versions. Just have two versions, right? And we'll render one version one way or another, driven by that state, right? So we could say, if it's if widget.ordered, right, and then we can just render this like that. Right, this says if it's ordered. I'm sorry. If it's not ordered. Sorry. If it's not ordered, then I'm going to use UL. Right. But if it is ordered, right, if it is ordered, right, then I'm going to use OL. Okay. So if we go back, this should look exactly the same way. But if we go back to the state here and we change this to true, right, it renders as ordered. Everybody okay? So we know the state is being used properly, right, by the component. We just need to be able to change it on the fly. All right? And we want to do that using a checkbox. Right? So let's add a checkbox that can control that particular state variable. Right? So let's here, for instance, under the text area, perhaps we can have a checkbox. We can have input of type checkbox, right, that says ordered. Ordered. Okay, like that. Oh no, we don't need this input. Sorry. Right. Right. So we have this ordered checkbox. Right. That we need it to be driven by that variable. Right. Meaning we need to say here something like it's checked. It's checked based on widget dot ordered. Right. So in this case, it is checked. Notice that it's checked because it is true, as opposed to if it's false. If this were false, right, it would be unchecked. Everybody okay? So it's working correctly. It's working correctly. Now notice that to click to select this notice that it's not letting me because the state is actually being driven by the low level the state variable so it's ignoring my event handling. So I need to do an on change somewhere in there so that they are synchronized. So notice that clicking on this is kind of hard, right? So to make it a little bit easier to click on it, especially on a small screen, a good practice is to wrap the whole thing with a label. Right? So wrap the whole thing with a label, so that now, even if I click on the text, notice that it's trying to also to change the state of that checkbox. See that? Actually, you could see it if I just remove this this checked here. Notice if I click on it, right now I can just click on the label. Right? Again, I've increased the area of clickability, and that's a good practice, especially if you're targeting mobile screens. All right, so we want the checkbox, the widget order. Excellent. All right, so what do we do when we click on it? Again, we need to grab the value of the low-level elements. So let's declare a local variable called ordered, right? And we're going to bind it to this checkbox. We're going to say ref node, and this will be ordered equal node. So now we have access to the low-level element, okay? And if it changes, so on click or on change, I guess on click. On click, what we're going to do is that we're going to take the value of the node of the ordered dot checked, not value, right? And notice that on the other ones, the text the text area, the input fields, the select drop downs, it's always dot value, right? The value of the drop down. Here, the attribute that we're caring about is checked. Checked is what is either true or false. Okay. All right. So what do we want to do with that? We want to set the widgets dot ordered equal to ordered dot checked. Right. Actually, we want to do this in a function, right? In a function. Do this in a function. There we go. And once we have the widget dot ordered, we can then notify the reducer that our widget has changed. So notify that the widget has changed, and let's see. Notice that now, right? We can click on it. It goes. So this goes out and notifies the sends a dispatcher. The dispatcher goes to the reducer. The reducer iterates over the widgets, finds the widget, takes the new widget version that now has the new ordered. Right? The order is now true or false. Right? It's toggling. And then it sends it to the container. The container runs the mappers. It extracts the state and then sends it to the component for rendering. Yes? Right? It does the whole circle over again. Everybody okay? Make sense? Yes? Anybody? Yeah. Do whatever the assignment says. Yeah. I'm doing it somewhat generic. Right? We're implementing this. Quite a few ways of implementing it. Yeah. All right. And obviously this still works, right? The same way, and I can change order or not order. Everybody good? Very cool. All right. Excellent.